Bang Si-hyuk allegedly forbids Jungkook and other BTS members from attending reunion at Jin's Amsterdam concert finale. ARMY outraged the shocking decision allegedly coming directly from Bang Si-hyuk, founder of HYBE and the key figure behind BTS's success, is now sparking major outrage among ARMY. Internal sources in the Korean entertainment industry stated that Bang Si-hyuk personally prohibited Jungkook and other BTS members from attending the reunion at Jin's solo concert finale in Amsterdam. A big question then arises. What is the reason behind this move deemed to have harmed such an emotional moment? For many fans, Jin's concert finale at Ziggo Dome, Amsterdam, at the end of his solo tour, was not just a concert. This moment was expected to be the long-awaited reunion stage after so long with the members rarely seen together. The presence of Jungkook, RM, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, and V at the event would be a highly meaningful symbol of togetherness, especially in the midst of the group's hiatus due to military service. However, the news that they were instead prevented from attending immediately sparked a wave of disappointment. According to reports circulating among music journalists, this ban was not merely a sudden decision. Several analysts believe Bang Si-hyuk considered strategic aspects and HYBE's brand image in the global market. There is speculation that an appearance by all BTS members together, outside of the official schedule, would disrupt promotional strategies already designed for the group's future. This decision, although sounding rational on a business paper, is still considered insensitive to the emotional side of fans. Industry sources mentioned that since the early planning of the tour, there had been internal discussions about the possibility of having at least some BTS members at Jin's final concert. However, Bang Si-hyuk was reportedly of the view that it was too risky, both in terms of time management and the potential leakage of major plans HYBE was preparing. This decision created the perception that the company placed corporate interests above the aspirations of fans. A wave of criticism on social media was inevitable. Protest hashtags such as #LetBTSReunite and #HYBeBreaksHearts topped the global trending topic only a few hours after this news circulated. ARMY in various countries believe moments like this do not come twice, and preventing the members from meeting on stage will only deepen the emotional gap between artists and their fans. Some fans argue that the presence of all members at Jin's concert finale would instead strengthen BTS's image as a solid and united group, even while on hiatus. However, those who support Bang Si-hyuk's policy argue that there are long-term interests that must be protected, particularly concerning the management of BTS's official comeback schedule in 2025. Another circulating speculation suggests HYBE is preparing a major project involving all BTS members, and a joint appearance in Amsterdam is feared to reduce the surprise effect of the announcement. This theory grew stronger after some internal staff hinted at a monumental event, to be released shortly after all members complete their military service. Even so, there has been no official confirmation from the agency. Bang Si-hyuk himself has not made any public statement regarding this controversy. The silence of the legendary producer instead fuels wild interpretations among fans. Some view this attitude as a form of neglect toward ARMY sentiment, while others believe he is choosing to wait for the right time to clarify it. In the perspective of the entertainment business, such a policy is nothing new. Large companies often limit their artists' interactions outside of official agendas to maintain marketing momentum. However, in BTS's case, the emotional factor of fans carries much greater weight. BTS is not merely a music group, they are a cultural phenomenon that has a unique emotional bond with their fans. Now, the public is waiting to see whether Bang Si-hyuk or HYBE will respond to ARMY's demand for an explanation. Is it true that this ban was based solely on business calculations, or are there other reasons that have yet to be revealed? One thing is certain, this controversy has become one of the hottest topics in the international entertainment world, and how the parties involved handle it will affect the image of BTS and HYBE in the eyes of the world. Bang Si-hyuk, if the ban claim is true, has placed corporate decisions above the emotional expectations of the fan community. Can this be justified in the governance of the modern entertainment industry? The statements circulating on various social media platforms give the impression of a strategic decision that contradicts public expectations. However, We must restrain ourselves before establishing truth as fact. We must question the sources of information. Are viral TikTok uploads, sensational YouTube videos, or busy tweets on Twitter truly reflecting verifiable reality, or are they merely constructing a narrative beneficial to one side? Why do we often accept conclusions before checking primary data and official statements? This is not merely a criticism of new media, but a call to uphold verification methods. On one hand, business considerations such as managing promotional momentum and protecting publication rights can be rational and measured reasons. On the other hand, a decision that appears to disregard public emotional moments raises negative assumptions about the agency's priorities. Is the integrity of the relationship between artist and fans being compromised for marketing calculations? This question demands an answer beyond mere speculation. We must also pay attention to the dynamics of collective emotion triggered by contextless posts. Why do protest hashtags spread easily and quickly become trending? Because emotional narratives are easier to touch than reports full of verification. Are we then victims of the spread of unverifiable emotional information? This is a challenge for the public who want to be smart in media consumption. Furthermore, let us question the possibility of a counter-narrative strategy. Could information leaks be deliberately allowed to circulate to gauge public reaction? Or conversely, is the information deliberately suppressed to maintain a surprise effect in the future? Both scenarios equally demand transparency from the relevant parties. Will such transparency be given? Within the framework of journalistic ethics, we are faced with the need for primary evidence. Official agency statements, scheduled documentation, and credible witness statements. Why do these things often appear late? And how do we assess the credibility of different sources? Encouraging the public to always demand evidence does not mean rejecting all information, but instilling a discipline of verification. Another provocative question: have we, as consumers of information, become too comfortable accepting narratives that please our emotions? If the news about this ban reinforces feelings of anger or offense, is that reason enough to immediately believe it without evidence? Such reflection touches on aspects of collective psychology in the era of instant information. We need to consider the long-term impact on the reputation of the artist and the agency. What if it later turns out that the claim was unfounded and rooted in misinterpretation of social media content? Who will be responsible for repairing the reputational damage already done? Public discourse must include accountability considerations. The information we have compiled comes from various platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and several other media. Yet these sources are secondary and vary in credibility. Is it wise enough to make them the sole basis for shaping public opinion? No. True truth demands cross-platform investigation, evidence filtering, and cross-verification. Thus, we invite readers to actively ask, do you truly believe that this event is real? Or is it merely a fabrication intended to attract media attention? If you tend to believe, what evidence would make you change your mind? If you are skeptical, what kind of evidence would convince you of the truth of the claim? Finally, let us promote a collective practice: delaying conclusions, demanding verifiable sources, and prioritizing accuracy over sensation. Skepticism does not mean cynicism. It is a democratic protection mechanism against information manipulation. In this context, ARMY and the wider public have a crucial role in safeguarding the truth. Are we ready to take that role? In closing, we urge parties to conduct verification. Check HYBE's official statements, evaluate the track record of sources, and request supporting evidence that can be confirmed. Are you willing to delay reaction and check facts before sharing? This question determines the quality of our information ecosystem. Thank you.